Okay, so we're gonna do a part 13 of Jack in the Box. So, wow, look what just happened. Jack and Gregory are going through these parallel experiences of their memory coming back from the day of the heist. I mean, the things that were going on inside of their head, faces melting from being, I mean, it was just a lot of distorted images that they couldn't quite piece together because they don't remember. But the memory is coming back, but it's coming back forcefully, and it's coming back and it's adding a lot of pain. You know, you just wonder, did any of the people who decided to take their memory think that one day it will come back? And when it came back, the damage that it would cause? I don't think they thought about that. Okay, we'll start there. So we're going to start with Marissa and Tom. Marissa and Tom finally made it to the restaurant, and he walks in and he has her by her hand at this point, and he walks up to the maitre d' and he said, sir, a table for two. And he looked over at both of them and he smiled pleasantly and he said, sure, follow me. I have a table right by the window. So as they were going to the table, all of a sudden his phone started going off. But this was his business phone, his bureau phone. He looked over at her and she said, yeah, sure, I know, I understand. I'm in the business. Go ahead and answer your phone, Tom. And he said, well, give me a second. And he said, you go ahead and follow the maitre d'. I'm going to step out and I'll come and meet you in a few. Yeah, sure, I understand. As curious as Marissa was, Marissa wanted to follow him. She wanted to stay right there and hear whatever that call was about. Because Tom looked awfully alarmed. So Tom steps out and, yeah, this is Tom. What? Oh, God, you got to be kidding me. That means they're all awake. Oh, God. You know what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, may I ask a huge favor? Can anybody but her? Anybody but her, ma'am. Please. Please. I understand, but please. I'll do anything. I promise. Please. Anybody. Yes. Thank you. Tom slowly put the phone down back into his pocket. He just got the news that everybody was getting their memory back. See, Marissa knew only about two. She knew only of two of them, which was Jack and Gregory. But altogether, it was 12. 12 people were going through the same experience with their memories coming back from that day. All the people that were a part of that heist. The only memories that were not zapped were all the federal agents that were involved. But every last 12 of them, they were all in the hospital at the same time in different locations, going through the same exact experience. One of those people was the very wife that Tom said was dead. She wasn't dead, but she may have well been, because the assignment now is to unalive them all. Tom was devastated. it was bad enough he had to pretend that his wife was dead, but to really have her unalived wasn't part of the plan. Why can't they just go and zap their memories again? He wanted his wife. He didn't care what condition she was in, but he knew she would be a threat if that memory came back. She would have to face charges. She would be behind bars. And he started to believe that that would be better than death for her. He wanted his wife alive. Tom was thinking about a plan to get his wife. He thought about Marissa. But Tom had to go. He didn't even say goodbye. He just left. Marissa was sitting down in the restaurant and she's just looking around and she thought, gosh, it's taking time. Then she noticed something on her. She noticed something on her watch. She pulled up the location where Jack was. Jack was in the hospital. What the hell is he doing in the hospital? She figured when Tom gets back, she was going to make some excuse to get out of that date. But she also thought, where the hell is Tom? So she went ahead and waved at the maitre d', and the maitre d' came on over, and she said, excuse me, sir. She said, I came in with a gentleman. He said, yeah, of course. He stepped outside to make a call. Can you do me a favor? Sure, ma'am. Can you see if he's still outside? Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? That's okay. I am going to step out, and if you don't mind, can we have the same table if we decide to come and partake in dinner? Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. Your table will be reserved. So, Marissa find herself going out the door, but when she got out there, Tom was nowhere to be found. She looked everywhere. She thought, where the hell did he go? So she knew she had, that was just one conversation she just didn't have to have as far as getting out of something. Obviously, Tom had an emergency too. But she thought about it. What would his emergency have been? He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have children. He did get a call from the bureau. Maybe it was something job related. What could it have been that would have made him leave without even saying goodbye? She'll find out tomorrow. So Marissa looked at her Jack's location and she pulled it up. So she decided to walk back to the bureau's parking lot so she can drive on over to that hospital. She gets in the car and she drives right on over to Swiss Memorial. She pulls right up, parks, and goes inside and looks around, and she looks at her Jack's location, and she started walking closer and closer, and then finally, there Jack was, sedated. She walked over to the side of him and sat right next to him. And she held his hand. And she looked at him and she said, Jack, are you okay? And Jack just had this dead stare. Just a dead stare. And so she decided to just sit there with him. She said, Jack, well, it's Marissa. I'm here. Jack may not have said anything, but his mind was still aware. And what he caught was that Marissa knew exactly who he